Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your brother Kadar, GMS Gulf Coast. I'd like to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rekah, Quadash. Double honors are given unto the apostle elders of Great Millstone, men who have labored and suffered in this truth for over 30 plus years, making their lives and their bodies a living sacrifice. I also like to send a shalom to the hopeful elect, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, the speckled bird, scattered throughout the four winds of planet Earth, north, south, east, and west, which consist of men, women, and children. I also like to send a shalom to the various GMS camps, elders, and heads. And last but not least, I'd like to send a shalom to any of you Akim, not named GMS, but walk in one body, one spirit in Yahushua, preaching this 100% truth with all truth, diligence, and sincerity. To you all, shalom. Man, Abaratazah, this be edifying to anyone who may come across the video, seeking to get a little more in-depth on what's going on in today's world. Lord willing to be edifying. What you see here on the screen is Paul and Adrian, off-grid farming. I guess it's Paul. Subscribe to his channel. And Paul, he does a lot of surfing the web, alternative news sources and whatnot, and he's for the most part, he's caught up on the inside scoop because he visits different news outlets outside of the mainstream news outlets, which are all on a script to keep the masses for the most part distracted. But I'm gonna play a little of his video here because the subject matter of the video is the downfall of Esau Eden. Starting over here in the West, which they call America, but by the way of the scriptures, it's called Babylon the Great, the kingdom of great confusion. It's an appropriate name for America. Anyway, we're gonna let this play and grab a few precepts afterwards.
Trying to alert the citizens of New York what to do in case of a nuclear attack against the city. So this is about a minute and a half public service announcement. Hello, everybody. This is Paul from Off Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. So I want to welcome you guys to our chat this afternoon. Usually we don't go on this early, but we have some breaking news we want to bring to you. It's been a very, very active day as far as the news concerning Russia, Ukraine, the United States. We posted a couple videos a couple hours ago, and talking about New York City, they just did a public service announcement trying to alert the citizens of New York what to do in case of a nuclear attack against the city. So this was about a minute and a half public service announcement. But I want to give you my opinion why they did this. Now, if you live in New York City, if Russia attacks New York City, folks, there's not going to be anything left. Basically, the whole city will be gone. So there could be a major false flag attack. That's my opinion. Now, Russia is not going to attack New York City just out of the blue. They're not going to attack New York City. If Russia attacks us with nuclear weapons, it will be an all-out attack against all of our military bases first. we posted a video, our last video, about Joe Scallon, which is a nuclear weapons expert, Canadian prepper, interviewed him and posted that video up yesterday. Folks, please watch the video. This is a nuclear expert. He's going to tell you his opinion. But Russia is not just going to pick out one city in the United States and send a nuclear weapon, folks. I don't think they're going to do that. What I think is going to happen is going to be another event like 9/11. It's going to be a huge false flag attack to get us into the war. Joe Biden needs a legitimate reason to attack Russia. And I think this would give him the reason. The reason I say that is because Russia's nuclear doctrine is not to take out civilian targets. If Russia attacked New York City, folks, they know that will cause a massive response from the United States. Do you understand what I'm saying? If Russia attacked Orlando, Florida, or Miami, or Colorado, they know that would elicit a massive nuclear response back on Russia. So why would they take out a civilian city? They're not going to do that. But we would, our government would do that in a false flag and blame it on Russia.
Hey, he has a point, though. This place has a history of doing those type of things. Let's see if we can revisit some of that type of foolishness that the U.S. has been known to do. Let's see.
Showing pictures that match.
Let's go into that false flag. This is in Boston Harbor. A group of Massachusetts colonists disguised as Mohawk Indians boarded 3 British tea ships and dumped 342 chests of tea into the harbor. Yeah. And blamed it on the Indians. Disguised as Sons of Liberty. Disguised as the skies of Sons of Liberty. In an effort to hide their true identities, many of the Sons of Liberty attempted to pass themselves off as Mohawk. Look at this bullshit. Just like you. As Mohawk Indians or Northern Kingdom Gad. Because if caught for their actions, they would have faced severe punishment. Reports from the time described the participants as dressed as Mohawks or I can't pronounce that, Indians. See? But see, they'll, you know what I'm saying? They'll dress and run amok and act as though they're the northern tribe of Gad, so-called Indians. Because, like I say, if they get caught, they face severe punishment. But at the same time, somebody had to take the blame for it. You understand what I'm saying? Just like they saying, you know, they had this deal going in this public announcement, public PSA, public safety announcement, whatever it stands for, in the city of New York City now, and claiming that Russia may attempt to shoot, you know, a nuclear missile at the city of New York, you know. But, you know, that's like Paul, I think that's his name, Paul was saying, you know, hey, this could be just another false flag ordeal. You know what I'm saying? To get some more legislation pushed. You never can tell with this man, you know what I'm talking about? He says, let's see, the skies was mostly symbolic in nature. They knew they would be recognized as non-Indians. The act of wearing Indian dress was to express to the world that the American colonists identified themselves as Americans and no longer considered themselves British subjects. And they come up here with this whole put together lie, trying to smooth it over. No, they were trying to pass themselves off as Indians, like you say, a false flag event,
The intent of disguising the actual source of responsibility and pinning blame on another party.
False flag, it says a false flag operation is an act committed with the intent of disguising the actual source of responsibility and pinning blame on another party. The term false flag originated in the 16th century as an expression meaning as an intentional misrepresentation of someone's allegiance. So these, I'm talking about, in America is notorious for this. It's like
Tonkin incident. The Gulf of Tonkin incident, Vietnamese, Su Kien Vin Bac Bo, was an international confrontation that led to the United States engaging more directly in the Vietnam War.
The Gulf of Tonkin incident. Let's go. The truth about the Ting Tong naval history. Let's see if we can get it right here. Because it was another false flag event. Documents and tapes released in 2005 and 2006 provided new insight into the 2 August 1964 attack on the USS Maddox DD-731 by 3 North Vietnamese patrol torpedo boats above, and established that there was no follow-up attack against the destroyer, along with the USS Turner Joy DD-951 on the night of August the 4th. The truth about the Tonkin questions about the Gulf of Tonkin incidents have persisted for more than 40 years. But once classified documents and tapes released in the past several years, combined with previous uncovered facts, make clear that high government officials distorted facts and deceived the American public about events that led to full U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. Let's see. On August the 2nd, 1964, North Vietnamese patrol torpedo boats attacked the U.S. Maddox DD-731 while the destroyer was in international waters in the Gulf of Tonkin. There's no doubting that fact. But what happened in the Gulf during the late hours of August 4th, and the consequential actions taken by U.S. officials in Washington has been seemingly cloaked in confusion and mystery ever since that night. Nearly 200 documents, the National Security Agency, or the NSA, declassified and released in 2005-2006, however, have helped shed light on what transpired in the Gulf of Tonkin on the 4th August. The papers, more than 140 of them classified top secret, include phone transcripts, oral history, interviews, signal intelligence, or signic messages, chronologies of the Tonkin event developed by Department of Defense and the NSA officials, combined with recently declassified tapes, phone calls from White House officials involved with the event and previously uncovered facts about Tonkin. These documents provide compelling evidence about the subsequent decisions that led to full commitment of the U.S. armed forces to the Vietnam War. Again, mission activities were conceived, overseen by the Department of Defense with the support of Central Intelligence Agency and carried out by the South Vietnamese Navy. In early 1964, South Vietnam began conducting a covert series of U.S.-backed South Vietnamese began conducting a covert series of United States-backed commandos attacks and intelligence gathering missions along the North Vietnamese coast, always intervening and helping overthrowing governments and whatnot. And Operation Plan, O-Plan 34A, the activities were conceived and overseen by the Department of Defense with the support of the Central Intelligence Agency and carried out by the South Vietnamese Navy. Initial success, however, were limited. Numerous South Vietnamese raiders were captured and O-Plan 34A units suffered heavy casualties. In July of '64, Lieutenant General William C. Westmoreland, commander of the U.S. Military Assistant Command Vietnam, shifted the operations tactics from commando attacks on land to shore bombardments using mortars, rockets, and rifles fired from South Vietnamese patrol boats. The U.S. Navy, meanwhile, had been conducting occasional reconnaissance and gathering missions farther offshore in the Tonkin Gulf. Destroyers carried out these so-called Desto patrols. After missions in December of 1962 and April of the next year, patrols were scheduled for in 1964 in the vicinity of O-Plan 34A raids. In fact, one of the patrol's main mission was to gather information that would be useful to the raiders. A top-secret document declassified in 2005 revealed the standing orders to Desto patrols. Let's see. They going on and on and on. The United States was playing a dangerous game. The South Vietnamese conducted open daylight attacks on destroyers. Anyway, when you read into this history right here, I don't want to keep reading on and on and on. You'll find out that the U.S. was behind their own involvement in the Vietnam War, as the saying goes with the Second World War. That attack on Japan, they knew very well what was going on and whatnot, but trying to pass these things over on the trying to pass the plans and get the okay from the public by and large, then things have to be done in such a way that the masses be all on board, or rather the majority be all on board. Now, he made a comment about them practicing nuclear bomb drills in New York City. Now, that's nothing new under the sun. This was done once before, back in the 50s. Let's look at it, shall we?
Challenge yourself for her.
Let's go.
During the height of the Cold War, there were many drills, routines, film strips, and pamphlets designed to help citizens survive a nuclear.
Now you notice which direction those missiles were coming from. It was coming from north of Canada, which is Alaska, which that land was sold to the U.S. by the Russians. So those missiles are coming from Russia. So this has been the ongoing thing for over almost 70 years, 80 years. It's nothing new. But all the distractions that the U.S. government has come up with over the past 6, 7, 8 decades, you know what I'm talking about, has lulled the people into sleep. And that generation that went to war for this country, you know what I'm saying, they're all but gone. So they can rewrite the playbook. And there's going to be no one there to contest it or say, no, that ain't how it happened, or no, that ain't right. Follow me? So history repeats itself. And that's scripture.
Attack. What were some of these things, and who designed them? President Harry Truman created the Federal Civil Defense Administration in 1950 in an effort to help the nation prepare for the possibility of a nuclear attack. The FCDA did many things throughout the 1950s and 1960s to help people maintain a level of awareness. There were many efforts undertaken, largely focusing on schools and educating children about proper procedures. Home economics.
Mind you, that generation is all but gone now. There's a few lingering around in nursing homes, and some still wearing their stars and their bars, still thinking of the old glory days, you know what I'm talking about. But for the most part, they're not here to contest or to deny against anything that, any of these things happening. And so what they're doing, they're bringing out the old playbook, because this place is a system. No one man runs this place. This place is a system that seeks to achieve an end goal. So no one man can be running this and be one-minded or be selfish in his intent to do or to make himself bigger or richer or more famous or more powerful. This is a system. The government of the United States is a corporation ran by elite men or elite families that have a end time goal or they have an agenda. So what you're seeing is actually going into history. And Paul had mentioned this in his video about how they was talking about going into doing those nuclear drills again. He didn't say again, but I'm showing you that this has already happened back in the 50s. A lot of our mothers and fathers had experienced this already. Anyway, I'm going to let this play and try to get to the precepts.
Classes taught girls what items should be included in a fallout shelter. Comic books were even created and distributed to school children that promoted nuclear safety. Probably the most famous effort to educate children came through the use of Bert the Turtle. Bert was an animated turtle who appeared in film strips promoting the duck and cover safety strategy. Bert instructed that in the event of a nuclear attack, first, one was supposed to duck out of the way to protect from flying debris, and then cover your head and body to prevent burns and serious cuts. The films were accompanied by a catchy song that many could still sing as adults years later. Schools took other measures as well. Many districts began practicing weekly air raid drills that utilized a similar duck and cover method. When the students heard the warning siren, they were instructed to hide under their desks to protect their heads from falling objects. Other school districts took even more extreme measures. Some went as far as purchasing identification bracelets for all of their students. This was to make it easier to identify victims in case of a major attack. These precautions, and many others, serve as a reminder of just how frightening it might have been to have lived during the Cold War era.
And there you have it. False flag events. All kinds of madness. All kinds of madness. Now, I guess one could say this place has seen better days. Anyway, let me grab a few precepts. Let me run up out of here. Don't want to have you. I think it's Jeremiah 49. Let's see, Jeremiah 49. Close it along. And Jeremiah goes into a lot of the heathen nations going into slavery. And for a lot of you non-believers, they believe that the Lord loves everyone and everyone has equal chance to get out of this, and everyone's gonna share in the utopia of the Lord's kingdom when He sent back His Son, Yahushua. Everyone thinks anyone that believes in the utopia of an all-inclusive kingdom of the Heavenly Father Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. It's talking about folks going into slavery in Jeremiah 49. Things that they skip over in Sunday school, and Wednesday worship, and church on Sundays. That's the deal with those churches. They don't go into prophecy. They just talk about whatever they talk about up and down. You get no understanding. Anyway, this is Jeremiah 49:7, and it reads, "Concerning Edom, thus saith," and Edom is another name for the nation of Esau. The Edomites, so-called white people. So this says, "Concerning them, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished?" All of those smart Germans and whatnot. Let me not say it like that. Anyway, all the wise counsel of Esau, Edom, going into that prestigious schools like Harvard and Cambridge and Yale, and, the top tier schools, talking about where they had their think tanks at, Have they run out of ideas, or they're not wise anymore? Yes, they've come to the end. This place is finished. They're not telling you that they're practicing 1950, or they're threatening to start practicing drills that they gymmed up back in the 50s and the 60s. Jake and them still out here going on carnival cruises and waiting for the next episode of Fantasy Island. You follow what I'm saying? And it's a wrap. That's It's like a broken record when we come on and do these videos. It's a wrap for this place. But Jake somehow still finds his or herself partying or working to enjoy themselves on the weekend or working toward a vacation or something, anything. Working for a holiday pay or whatever the case may be. And these people who are running things, the council, that so-called smart men and then the think tanks and whatnot, they've ran out of ideas. The Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not getting them any more fresh ideas. It says, "Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dudan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him." The time that he should visit him. And he's been visited now because, what his name, Biden, he went over there to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, he eating crow now. He going over to Saudi Arabia after all those sanctions he done put on Russia and whatnot. You feel what I'm saying? And you're going to find out everybody over there in the east, on the other side of the pond, the Atlantic, they pretty much dealing with Russia when it comes to the natural resources. So everybody dropping the dollar and teaming up with Russia. And Paul and Adrian them in one of their videos had said that the Saudis have been buying oil from Russia for the past few decades. Now who would have figured that? So they running out of oil. So all these things that the U.S. has done to try to put Russia in a trick bag, then turn around and backfired on their ass. So that old saying that they got a couple of 100 years worth of reserves over here in the U.S., that could be a lie. I personally believe it's a lie. But that day, as the things come out day to day, you know what I'm saying, what's been done in the dark is coming to the light. You know what I'm saying? He's, roughly paraphrasing that, the scripture. Matter of fact, let me grab that. It's Luke 12. That was done in the dark should come to the light. And that's basically what we're seeing. This is Luke 12, verses 1. I'm going to start at verse 1, and it reads, "In the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, and so much that they trod one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples, First of all, beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy." This is Yahweh speaking to his disciples about the hypocrisy of the Pharisees. And we're gonna liken this on to the U.S. government lying about everything and being a hypocrite about everything, and everything coming back to show forth. It says, verse 2, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops." And everybody in the world is seeing the hypocrisy and the lies and all the trickery and all the backhand and backroom deals of the United States. You know what I'm talking about? And these sanctions ain't did nothing but show what's really going on as far as the United States has lost control. Who would have known that the Saudis of all nations are buying oil from the Russians? If that's true now. If that's true, allegedly. But there's a lot coming out in these last days, in these last, all these things But your government, by and large, they're not speaking on none of this. They're still trying to hold fast to the lies. You know what I'm saying? It says, verse 8, back to Jeremiah 49 and verse 8, and it says, "Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dudan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him." It says, if grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaming grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have. It's like, if thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. And this man can never have enough. Esau Edom, because he heap up all nations to himself, and he still can't have enough. And he got embassies all in nations all over the planet. You know what I'm talking about? He got military there stuck, stationed there so he can enforce everybody using this oil dollar. But now everybody dropping that oil dollar now, because guess what? Them sanctions that they putting on certain countries now, that's hurting the bottom end of these other countries. Thus, these other countries, they hate this place. They hate the United States. We're gonna get that. Yeah, these other countries, they hate this place. They hate America. Because they bottom end, what they're trying to push is hurting the bottom end of these other nations. This is Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16, and it reads, is that it? No, I don't think that's it. Yes, it is. This is it. This is Revelation 6:17, and 16, and it reads, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." And that's what you're seeing. China, Russia, North Korea, Turkey, which was an ally of the U.S., and that's a few more, the prime minister of what is his name? I can't think of the French prime minister. Got caught on a hot mic talking about how they screwed because they dealing with Russian oil. Telling Biden them that, what I'm talking about? These folk going, in the end, the glossing over by MSNBC and Fox News and CNN and CBS and the morning show, and with Mika and Joe, all of that's gonna play out. Good Morning America, all that's gonna play out here sooner than later, Abaratazar. And you're gonna find out the truth. They're paid affiliates of the international bankers, and so you're only gonna get it a one-sided story, and it's always gonna favor the U.S. But as the old saying go, it take two to tango. Can't one person always be wrong? If it's something going on, and there's always an argument, there's always a situation between two parties, then guess what? Both of those parties have contributed in the relationship going sour. Can't always be that one party always wrong. And if you listen to America, it's always somebody else's fault. It's never America's fault. That's just the point. Anyway, let me get back to Jeremiah. And I'm going to read a little bit more, and I'm going to get up out of here. It says, verse 10. I think it's verse 10. It says, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbor, and he is not. Leave thy fatherless leave thy fatherless children. I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. Now, and that's going into the nation of Israel, for the most part. Thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and thy widows trust in me. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. And see, we wasn't supposed to be in the predicament that we're in, but we went off by not obeying the agreement that we made with the Most High, going back to Exodus 19:4, when we agreed as one and said that we would do the Lord's will and we would obey the law, statutes, and commandments. So ultimately, we had to drink the cup of the Lord's vengeance, His wrath. Because we brought him the wrath. But now these other nations, especially Esau, Edom, supposed to. But it would seem as though he haven't. At least it would seem that way. Matter of fact, let me grab a precept real quick. I believe it's 25. And let me see. Real quick. This is Jeremiah 25:29. It says, for lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name. And should ye be utterly unpunished? Ye shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, the Lord Yahweh shall roar from a high shall roar from on high and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord Yahweh had a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will judge them. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord. 2/3 of our people going to be given over to the sword too on this side as well. You know what I'm saying? But he's going to plead with the nations. Because he got a controversy with them. Got a problem with them. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. So, and you look at Esau, Edom, he's in all nations, passing on that wicked philosophy and that wine, as the scripture called, and they're going to have to be dealt with. I'm going to read a few more scriptures. I'm going to close this out. It's been going on too long. 13, it says, for I have sworn by myself, said the Lord Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetually wasted. Basra, I believe, was the capital of Edom at one time. And you can liken that on to America, because this place is going to be a reproach, or utter waste, and the cities thereof should be a perpetual waste. This place is going to be destroyed. Verse 14, I have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent out unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle. Real quick, and I'm going to close it out with this one. I think it's Obadiah. This is Obadiah 1 and verse 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. And that's what you're going to see. All of America allies and their number one enemy, because the Lord also said that if Egyptians rise against Egyptian, or a house divided cannot stand. So, you're going to see Edomite against Edomite, and all the allies are so-called buddies, friends, or contemporaries, or whatever. Contemporary, these folks finna nut up and fight one another, and they finna turn about face to America with all these damn sanctions. Turn around and it's hurting everybody. It says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And yes, that's this place, America, and the Americans are looked at as wicked, uppity, proud people throughout the whole planet. Anywhere you go, they can't stand Americans. It says, the pride of thy heart had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh. And what else can you say? This place is finished. This place is finished. And it ain't no magic working on policy, FEMA program, or any kind of program at that fact. It's gonna help this place rebound. The world, by and large, is finished with America, and they're gonna turn on America. You so-called blacks, Latinos, Native, and Seminole Americans better repent and turn back to your power. That's your only chance. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praise to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.